The film is about a very creative or a very innovative way of dealing with problems through a creative use of language. So I worked very hard to make a creative and innovative visual language to match this. So it's great to get a prize, you know, when someone calls you, come to Palermo tomorrow, you're getting a prize for the most innovative film. And you come to Palermo, which is the most anti-contra-innovative place I have been to. And it's great because it's in these contrasts that you can actually appreciate so many things. And for me, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I feel like I was here in a previous life. There is something, you know, in the way that people appropriate the space, and people let the space around them live like a human being. You know, it gets old, it gets decadent, it gets sick. Sometimes it has moments of, you know, good health, but it's a very stupid word, but very organic place. You know, organic city with the people, with time, and with space. And you know, I can only feel comfortable in all the places in the world which are like this. Many people, for example, if you look around this square, people will find it an empty, worn-out, desolate place. You know, and for me, I see 1 million fantastic details. You know, you have this earth football field with the holes in the fence. There's this very cool guy who's putting water all over the place with no order. You know, he's not going up and down, up and down. He's just like spraying around. These friends down there which were testing the car. That's life inside the desolation. Life with a big capital L. You know, documentary filmmaking and in general the public discourse should go beyond the explicative things. Very direct explanations, descriptions of some situations and problems. And we have all seen enough. We have all traveled enough in our lives, even, you know, as by living at this period of history, we have all seen enough things to make some very fast conclusions, and sometimes very good conclusions. And we don't need to be told what to think. And in documentary film, we can be shown little details which can inspire different directions of thinking. And when I see this place, for example, I can, you know, every detail, everywhere I turn my head, there is, you know, a graffiti, this mother and son walking with groceries. It inspires me to think about many things in my life, and this is what documentary should do. And in my film also, people like to watch it many times because, you know, every time it makes them think about different things. It is very rich inside even, so you can freeze frame it and watch and discuss one image for 1 hour. But when you watch the whole thing also, every time you will start thinking in different directions. And I think that's what modern documentary film should do, and that's why it's better than fiction, it's better than journalism, and it's you know, and it's even more fun than you know, regular conversation sometimes, or ordinary thinking. The reason why I bought my camera in the first place was to record these funny little details of life. When urbanism, anarchy in human thinking, decadence, or a human way of thinking creates something interesting. And later, when I was doing this satirical verite documentary on Serbian aphorisms, I realized that I could use these images that I was collecting all the time as maybe as little elements of illustration, but over time I realized that this would be the perfect illustration for what I wanted to say with the film and for what these people are doing with words. So this was the visual equivalent of their style of writing. These images found the perfect purpose, the perfect reason to be included in a film. So they were not there to be shown as strange, satirical, documentary images. They were there to illustrate a point. So I make myself a double pleasure, to record this, to preserve it, and to include it and enhance my film. I had very specific criteria for choosing these images. Every image had to be at the same time paradoxical, humoristic, and multi-layered. To find places where I could maybe find those images, traveled on every single road of the Serbian part of Bosnia to film these images. And then it was very important to, and this is what I learned from my previous film, to categorize these images into folders. So, but also to give them names. So all the names, all the photos start with a 5-digit number, all the shots. And then it's a very personal methodology and everyone should have their own trick. But let's say that I could find, it was not by location because it doesn't matter which, the film is filmed in Serbian areas, but it travels all over the world. I mean, that's the point. So the precise location is not interesting, it's more what's in the film.
Ja nisam nikad nikog povredio, nisam podmitio nikog, nisam nikad ništa ukrao. Morao sam na kraju da iskažem svoje nezadovoljstvo na neki drugi način. Nikad nije bilo teško naći protivnika za dvoboj. Danas je lakše nego ikad. Svi ti dobri ljudi sa zlim namerama i svi ti loši ljudi sa dobrim namerama. Svi su na našoj strani, samo smo mi na suprotnoj, što bi rekao moj prijatelj. Možda je sve ovo malo nezrelo, ilegalno, nekorektno, ali jebi ga. Sve je i onako naopako, a i meni je ovako lakše. Smrt ne ubija kao život. Ili što bi rekao moj prijatelj, od sudbine se ne može pobeći. Sudbina će pobeći od nas.
So it was more like a division by, graffiti, car, real estate, riot scenes. We have a Turkish word called merak for pleasure, like it's a equivalent for hedonism. So all the ways people, indulge in pleasuring themselves. That was one folder. There was one folder with cemeteries, one with faith. Faith being churches, mosques, and other things people believe in. When I was capturing the files, it was a very precise numbering system. And then in the editing software, we had these little bins in which you would kind of group these shots. And then the editing process was fantastic because at one point, after 4 years of rewriting, I had written the full text. And I had 2,500 images. And I worked with a very good friend who is also a good editor, an alter ego of the main hero of the film, just like me. And we understood each other so perfectly that we were actually working on paper. There was one table in which we had the text on one side and an empty column on the other side. And sometimes, and that's the most creative part, you have to turn off your head and forget about everything, make a blank thing, and then it flashes back into you. The image, the right image comes back at you. It's like when you forget something and you almost remember it, but it comes. You have to completely stop trying to think about it so that it comes back. And we did this for 5 months, day and night, non-stop. And it was I don't know if I can ever repeat this type of creative process and creative excitement of letting your brain make so many calculations, you know, semantic, symbolical, ideological, political, satirical, ironic, with so many material to work with. And so the film had like billions of possibilities for editing, and we were there, me, my later friend, and paper and the files, and just flashing, and it worked out in the end. Yeah, I like all the sounds,
okay.
You know, like if you have a problem with hearing me, we can go another place.
Thank you.